In this tutorial, we'll take a look at the audit tools built into ISO Hub that allow you to capture audit findings, raise corrective actions, and attach documented evidence to your findings. We will also cover how to assign corrective actions to team members and monitor progress. You will also learn how to set email reminders and how to monitor progress. Ian will be your tutor, and we hope you enjoy the systems training. So, let's make a start.
In the previous session we showed you how to add the auditees. They need to be in the system, and then how to create your audit plan and audit schedule. And in this section what we're going to focus on is how we actually start to create the audit and capture the findings. You'll see from the system here we have the clauses broken down into the relevant sections. And here is where we would start to build out dates, time, etc. So although you had your audit schedule timed in the previous session, we can now look to select the type of audit, whether it's a remote audit, whether it's on-site, or a mixture of 2 or 3. The reason we do that is quite often you'll do a desktop study and then you'll physically go on site to complete your audit. You'll notice here as I select the date, we've now got 8 days in which to complete the audit. Now if we then set the scheduled completion date, it's also going to tell us how many days we've got to actually get that audit completed by. So what is the selected time and date? So here you can see I've given myself plenty of time, 100 days to complete the audit, and then we have the anticipated audit completion date. So we'll just select that, and we will then look to input the information in relation to site details, any specifics, if it's a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting, or any other relevant details in relation to where the physical location of the meeting's taken place. You can place that information in here. You don't have to, it's not a requirement, but it just helps to understand and to recall certain information at a later stage. We've selected the ISO 9001 template, and we can also have the ability to set it whether it's draft, completed, and select the status that we want. So the scope here is, again, it's down to you to decide what the scope and what the criteria of the audit is, and in this instance we're just going to type in that we're going to audit against the requirements of 9001, and we can audit the sales and marketing department in those specific clauses. And again, if you were to say that you wanted a specific clause, you could type it there, or you could type it into the audit program. So here is where you'd enter things like summary findings, conclusions, general observations, any other information that you wanted to place onto the audit itself. And then once you've typed that, you can copy and paste as well from other documents if you require to do so. So here we have just a basic breakdown of the clauses, and I just want to really talk through the different icons. So you've got the view icon that enables you to view, you have then the pen icon which enables you to edit, and then you have the select icon that gives you the ability to delete, and you can also select all, or you can deselect. It's entirely up to you. And you also can add audit findings by clicking on the green button, or you could do it through the edit feature, but we're going to stick with the green button for now, and which is going to give us the opportunity to enter the audit findings. So you have a brief reminder as to the clauses, and we're going to select that we're going to audit against clause 4.1, understanding the needs and expectation of interested parties and the context of the organisation. So under the audit findings here, you can adjust the box to be as large or as small as you wish, and again you can copy and paste from a Word document directly into this, and if you use the iPad you can actually use the dictaphone function within the iPad to speak directly into the iPad that will then do the voice recognition and type it for you, which is a great feature if you're in a quiet environment. So compliance here, we've raised a major non-conformity, and we now need to add some actions off of the back of that major non-conformity. So what we're going to do now is to put some more information around the nature of the non-conformity or the major non-conformity, just to make sure that others are fully aware of what the nature of that non-conformity is. And again, you can put as much or as little information in here as you wish, and I would also recommend that you say try using the dictaphone on your iPhone or iPad, because it makes light work of auditing, certainly if you're discussing a number of issues. Select the person that you are going to assign the non-conformity to. So this is going to be the person that you want to action off any of those non-conformities or major non-conformities or observations. So we're going to allocate here Christine to ensure that she addresses the issue. It's in progress, and we would like to give it a completion date on the 28th. And if we want, we can support additional documentation to support the audit evidence and the non-conformity that's been raised, and we can submit that as part of that non-conformity process. So you can evidence your findings, and you can put additional notes in as well as you go along. And again, as much or as little information as is required. And again, if you like to type up in Word first and then just copy and paste, that's perfectly acceptable, and the system's designed to do that. And you can save and close, and that's going to capture off the nature of the non-conformity. But if we wanted to add some more information, we've got a risk assessment there, but let's say you wanted to add a bit more documentation, maybe some photographs, you can simply add another document and select that from the file, whether that be directly from your mobile phone that you could capture an image, or you can simply upload from a system if you have those images or other information. Now what I'd like to do is also just explain to you that these drop-down lists that we have here, there's a number of different recommendations or different phrases that you can use or select, and sometimes it may be the case that you can't find what it is you're looking for, in which case you can simply add and create your own lists by selecting at the very bottom there the type of phrase that you'd like to type in. In this case we're going to type photographic evidence, and then we're going to just click OK, and that will save it and drag that information in. And you can then just type in any other information here that you wish, so picture of spill of the chemical, for example, and save and close. And this URL, you can, if you have SharePoint, you can simply paste the SharePoint URL into that section, and that will drag that information in. So at the point of audit, you have all the information that you need, the nature of the non-conformity that's been raised, you've assigned the actions, those actions have been assigned over to an individual, it's very clear the nature of the non-conformity, and you can also invite those individuals through a calendar invite to ensure that they've set reminders in their own system. So we hope you find that of interest, and you can see here that we've captured everything that we need to capture for that purpose, and you'd simply work through the rest of the non-conformities and the clauses of the standards, and here, as you said, is the calendar invite, which can be automated if required. So I hope you have found this useful, and we look forward to speaking to you on our next presentation.